Let's get Nora to medbay.
Yes, let's tend to the wounded.
Her condition is critical. Have we managed to get, have we managed to get the back to tanks back?
What the hell happened? Someone dragged the stretcher. What the hell happened?
Mart.
Marked. Big man.
He also decapitated Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha might be dead.
But Alpha Squad was able to recover him.
Oh,
And we got all his parts. Just his head was taken off. They also destroyed the place. Mart was inside, so
Well, that's good at least.
don't know about him.
Okay, what about Victor and the data? What about them?
Data has been achieved, and I don't know if Victor was based inside, but apparently his body was.
I currently have the cure to death saved in my systems.
I have some of it too, and Nora's
Presumably,
datapad
if that
does
was
as
what's
well.
in it,
Wait, you got it?
Yep.
You got
presumably,
the
yes, we got
data?
everything that was there.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
Holy shit.
I say we test it on Dax first, you know.
Well,
Oh, no.
Well, you can't test on me. I'm still alive.
Also, remind me the next to vaporize every living existence of him. The fool had the gall to try to play to our morals. Try pretending he was some earlier copy of him.
Yeah, if morals didn't save him the first time, I don't know what made him think it would save him the second time.
Oh, right. A1 knows about this.
Well, you heard
He's
them.
the one who
Let's
killed
go to
Alpha.
HQ.
Alright. Huh, so we've pissed off A1 too. Well, that's a good sign.
Well, were you not here when he attacked the base?
I did talk to him recently.
Oh, and what happened with that?
I mean, we just talked about things. With Nora and,
Well, let's focus on the debrief for now.
you know, there's no convincing him to
lot to
join us.
unpack here.
That's what I learned.
Let's also go over the fact you just said you spoke to the end.
Yeah.
Mission first, then we can go over that. I don't want to have to waste time here.
Indeed.
Put all data into the central terminal. Actually, hold on. Before you do that, we don't know if it's spiked.
It most certainly
into the
would
central-
be, definitely.
To the computer over there to the right.
Alright. In front of me, or in this?
There. Good. Just don't put it in the central core. We can actually scan it. Sparrow, over here.
Oh, over there. Okay. Hold on, I'm blind. Where is it?
The central terminal.
This.
Alright. That data will be combed through as we speak. Got it?
Alright. Well, that's everything I could download. There's quite a lot, so hopefully it does us some good.
Inform me. What is this speaking with A1 about?
He asked to talk with Nora and I. So we went to a neutral location. And, talked.
What was spoken? We need to know.
I can give you a full transcript, but basically we just talked about our positions in the
Synopsis.
war. And, you know, our goals, our ideals, why he's doing this. Just, he feels like he's been overshadowed by everyone. Everything he does fails. Everything he wants to do fails except for his businesses. That's why he hates you, Dax. He feels like you've always
What, is
been
he
a
jealous of me?
successful. Yes, actually. Very. Feels like you've been always successful in things that he's failed at.
Gee, maybe it's because I'm not a psychopath and actually try to approach things with compassion.
Yeah. Says Nora and I are two of the only people he cares about. But, I mean, since I can come back through surrogation, and he'll still kill me, and with Nora, if forced to kill her, he'll make it as quick as possible.
Do you think what Mark did to her was instructed by A1?
Probably.
You know, we'll take her out of the fight for a while. Scans indicate she has her back.
Yeah, from what the not good angle I saw, that I do not know if she will be fighting for a while.
Could be his way of protecting her.
She'll recover. Yeah, still painful and agony, but he won't be forced on the field where she can get killed.
Well, that's...
So, go ahead.
Yeah? I say, well, that's, sick in a... That's kind of sweet in a
Grim.
morbid, sick way.
Threat assessment from Martyr. What do you think?
He's doing
From
this out
what
of
my
loyalty
scans
to
show-
A1. He's very powerful.
Yeah, I'm talking about combat capability. Threat
Yeah.
assessment, he will fight us if anyone orders him to.
Yes.
Yes. And from what my scans show, whatever this new body is built from, it's incredibly durable. Almost none of our weapons did anything to him.
Yeah, it's a unique deposit using Mandalorian steel alongside other metals. He has some sort of expert forger make that thing for him. It's a one of a kind.
Yes, even the lightsabers were having trouble.
I mean, I don't want to start stating the obvious. It was probably just to make the strongest galaxy acquirable.
And A1 can still remotely take control of him.
We'll have to start planning out a way to defeat. The idea right now we have two ways. If that blast might have killed him, we don't know. We bolted out of the system. Reinforcements were coming. Alpha was able to intercept them right between the gap in reinforcements and him. What we got from the inside indicated Mart was currently reviving the Revenants and their pods.
Status on a position.
So,
They had Revenant pods at Victor Place?
Yes. And from what I saw, they appeared to be incomplete.
Incomplete.
maybe they were being
What
assembled
way?
or prototypes.
Yeah, I can't say for sure, but it's possible they were prototypes.
I got a scan of one.
Nick,
Yeah?
what do you think of all this? What do you think of Mart? Is he dangerous? And if so, how dangerous?
Status.
Extremely. There was nothing I could really do against him, even to slow him down.
Missions are starting pretty dire. It's pretty lucky if you come back from a mission without being it, or having someone die at sea. We're
makes
unsure
sense.
how to approach this, other than that you must keep However, due to your continued struggles and the fact you're facing strong enemies, Hike's been dispatching you new weapon upgrades alongside armor some of the top tier specialist armor dispatched to you. See what you can do with it to merge it with yours.
All right.
We're also looking. If we give you stronger shields that have a longer recharge time, that's how they'll be. Be willing to sacrifice less time without shields?
What's your status?
I think quick recharge time might actually be more helpful to us than a longer shield last without a recharge.
The opposite too. Lower shields a bit, but a significantly recharge time.
I think we got a good balance as is.
Yeah.
Now, there's also the concern that there's 2 viruses inside both of you. Both droids here.
Oh, yes. I've suppressed it if you'd like me to send
I'm
or
dealing
try
with
to
it.
send it to a different system.
You can purge it now that you are not in enemy territory. One of you
Good,
go to
I will do so.
duplicate. One of you send a duplicate.
Alright.
I'll
You
do
said
so.
you used a hang on. You said you used a data pad to access some of this stuff,
Oh, I
right?
did.
Then what is the chance that the data pad might have the virus too?
Most likely.
All right, scan the data pad and purge it from yourselves.
From
Well,
what we were
does-
able to ascertain, the virus was a full measurement, so if you want systems, you willingly had to damage your...
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's why we got the data pad.
Looking at Nora's data pad. We're unsure what its purpose is exactly, but it's definitely is to use terminals or access their data. You had to let the virus work through you, which is a win-win. We don't know if it was siphoning data or altering data. Do you feel any different, either of you?
No.
To my knowledge, no. I feel the exact same as I came in that mission.
Sure then. Moving on, any strategy or ideas to martyr? Nick, you're the only lightsaber user here. What do you have?
He seemed completely resistant to all lightsaber strikes. I didn't even notice any damage, despite repeated attacks.
I think there was
Good
slight
luck, of
damage.
course, because your lightsaber didn't disable.
I assume it's just that I assume it's just the thickness of his armor. Maybe if I had...
It looked lightsaber resistant, but I started to notice small burns on it.
Yes, it's... From what I'm guessing, it's a mishmash of metals specifically strong and lightsaber resistant. But not lightsaber proof, clearly.
VHC commented that concussive blasts were doing.
Yes, they disrupted his systems for a bit.
Alright, so we have a weakness. Concussive weaponry seems to be the only way to shake the armor. Or someone strong enough in the Force to rip. But we're unsure how much that would take.
And perfect counter for him
Has
if he's
anyone tried
flying
shooting a
just
high-grade
rockets.
railgun at him?
Mark
I
II
shot a
didn't do
Mark II
anything.
at him multiple times, even in siege mode.
So the issue with the Mark II, come to notice, that you can resist the main projectile, the heat dissipates. Plasma catalyst.
What about the Mark IV?
Real good.
Did Alpha try shooting at him?
I'm not sure, I didn't see.
When Alpha is restored, we can.
Yeah.
What's your status?
It's not. Unfortunately, no one seems to be able to attest he did or not. We can
Alright, then.
assume a Mark IV railgun shot probably pierced him, but not goes through the armor. However, the new variation of the railgun coming will probably fix all the issues that we're having right now. Becoming more apparent that the Mark II is not the design for specific high armor targets. It's good at suppressing and taking up single targets, but against high value targets, the Mark IV is too dangerous for a normal person to wield. So, the intermediary Mark III is finally entering its finalization after a
Good.
notably long time on hiatus. The old Mark III was undesirable, to be sure.
All that
If you
thermal
were-
energy overheating the dang gun, and there wasn't even much in return for it.
It was able to destroy droids rather quickly by overheating the interior. It also could liquefy. However, if you have any sort of heat shield on you, it makes you rather resistant. All
Noted.
wall between you and the target, it was easy to avoid.
Yeah, this new railgun should be way more suitable. I even was able to put forward some design documents and blueprints I had for a long time for railgun upgrades that we never got around to doing.
The Mark I might get an upgrade alongside it. We're looking into a way to compress its ammunition to 2 shots.
Yeah, because the original document I had from a long time ago was a 3-shot load, but it was too unstable and required extensive changes to the barrel. But a compressed
rotary
ammo
that
would
he
make
was
it
talking
easier.
about. Unfortunately, it was the rotary rotator. It just took too much strain, it would break itself a few shots.
Oh yeah, that old thing.
Report in.
Continue with though. We have confirmation that the estate is fully destroyed.
Good.
A giant
At
blast
least that's
through
one
it.
headache dealt with.
The estate was ripped apart and then launched off the cliff. Few dozen pieces. What was left of it, no doubt, burned it down while falling to the bottom below the cliffs. And if not, there was enough fuel in that thing to burn the thing for days.
It matters anyway. You guys already took everything useful out of there.
Over. Congratulations.
Yeah, all things considered, you guys did pretty good for facing down Mart.
I just got word, speaking of. Alpha is probably recoverable. It's more likely than...
Alright, good.
That's great.
Good news then.
We're gonna have to look into upgrading Alpha, though. Perhaps time to abandon the Dark Trooper chassis. Perhaps, though. Perhaps we can give him the Torium.
Oh,
Perhaps.
yes.
Turning Alpha into an Inquisitorium? Damn.
We still have that sword lying around.
Alpha with a giant sword. Damn. Someone's gonna have to teach him how to fight with that thing.
He is very much self-taught. He has combat data from a lot of
What's up, everyone?
sword fighting droid, Magnagard.
Oh yeah, true. His second incarnation, actually both of his incarnations were built to fight Jedi, so, or at least be able to resist Jedi, so that makes sense.
What's your status?
We'll look into this.
What's your status?
Looking beyond this, there is the question that we must ask. Do we focus on A1 or do we focus on Valen?
Valen first. A1 is just too difficult to get to because of his No, let me finish speaking. It's not because I think A1 is a less important target, it's because I think that due to his surrogacy abilities that it'll be harder to pin him down and finish
Well,
him off.
isn't it more likely for A1 to help Valen than Valen to help A1?
A1 can show up instantly on the battlefield wherever you are.
Yes, and he
did
also
show up-
said
he did show up here.
Valen is his friend.
Yeah. And
I
plus,
don't know if
we
Valen
fight
thinks the same way.
A1 anywhere outside of his main compound, then we don't kill him. He just comes back in a new body. He could potentially
Yes.
pester us endlessly when we're in one of his friendly territories.
The thing
I
we
think
suspect is that A1 has surrogation pods in Valen's location.
Maybe.
If we could find some way to jam his surrogation.
Well,
I believe Saber has something,
yes.
according to what he spoke of.
There is a prototype of something being worked on right now that could do that. As it stands right now, we have to actually go into the system physically, and it'll probably only work once, because they'll adapt.
Check in.
We were looking into use to stall the Revenant programs on a battlefield.
Yes.
Unfortunately, your contact is rather unwilling to work with us personally, staying independent.
What's up, everyone?
Your contact is also not a very talented individual to designing something. He refuses help, so we're unsure how to proceed. For context, for those who do not know, this is Alan Laszlo, Saber's old bounty hunter.
Oh, that guy. What's he up to these days?
Doing his own thing.
Unsure.
Keeping to himself.
Oh, so same as what he's always been doing.
Yep.
What's up, everyone?
You may need to speak with him to convince him to surrender the technology to us, and if he doesn't do it willingly, we're afraid this will have to do something he had to do we should have done, which is seize it forcibly. Are you opposed to killing for that?
We shouldn't kill him. I'll talk to him first.
Take it from him, he will go. Yes, but this technology is not progressing at a rate that's acceptable. He is refusing help and he refuses to work with us. Out of fear or out of pride. Either way, the technology should be in our hands to finish it. At the rate, it has been estimated it will take around 7 years for this technology to be done.
Yeah, assuming we're even around by then. Anyways, another reason I think we should go for A1 is because he is the commander of Valen's sector right now. If we cut the head off this thing, we could break the support to Arvani, and that would make taking down Valen a whole lot easier on a lot of fronts.
Yeah.
Our concern is that Palpatine may show up to assist Valen.
If we take care of A1 first, it's less likely that he'll show up.
I believe it would be more likely that he'd show up.
I think if Palpatine wanted to take us down personally, he'd do it regardless of if A1 was there or not.
I don't think he cares enough. A1
I mean, he cared
do not
enough
know.
to give us a nice
A1
show
hinted
with
at some
his, brand new ship.
plans, like the battle plans and how much of a threat we are to Palpatine. He compared it to taking out the trash. So we're not his priority. Just a loose end. And sure, if we
Sometimes
attack
you throw
A1,
away the garbage before making a good meal.
yeah.
What if there's just too much trash?
Well,
Sorry,
either
that
way,
analogy
we
was
can't
bad.
fight the rest of Dark Empire's forces with Valen and A1 breathing down our necks. No matter what, we're gonna have to take them down.
There's still the fact that our war fleets are pinned. We leave this local sector, we get ambushed by a task force. Without a clear path to Arvani, we are still stuck in a standstill. So for that, we need you to keep making... Understood?
Understood.
Unsure how to proceed equally at this point, but you believe that it is optimal to attack A1, correct?
Yes.
Yep, A1 first, then Valen.
Intel suggests that Valen is not content working for Palpatine. We're unsure if this is a lie or a truth.
It could be.
Either way, we believe Palpatine servitude. I am not sure if you noticed the tonal shift that Valen had from before he worked with Palpatine and after. According to our records, he used to just play around with others. Now he seeks total annihilation of them at any cost, even as men. Example of that, how he threw men at you even though he knew that they would die at the estate.
All part of a greater cause. Back when Valen was helping us, he didn't have anyone to answer to but himself, but now, his big boss is back. And I wouldn't be surprised if Palpatine was the only thing he was truly afraid of.
I think Palpatine's the thing that everyone in the galaxy is afraid of, without fail.
Well, yeah. That's how these crackpot Sith rule over each other without getting turned on, with fear.
I assume everyone in this room would be terrified if Palpatine showed up.
Quiet.
Hell yeah, I've seen Saber's recording of when he showed up to Boris that first time. I don't want to mess with that.
Palpatine still rules supreme in the galaxy, and with the unveiling of his eclipse to most galaxy now, there's really no way of stopping him. Did someone recently raise the claim that every great weapon doesn't come in, every great weapon has to have a sequel? Who said that?
What's up, everyone?
Was it one of you? If it wasn't, either way, there's still the fear that this is a starting of a new class of vessels.
Yeah, and one that would be easier to produce than the Death Star, too, because this is just a starship. It's not a full moon-sized battle station.
We believe the Eclipse is the flagship. And because of that, there's likely going to be sub-variants of it. We don't know what it'd be called. We don't even know if any are going to be made sometime soon, considering we actually combed through our data, and we missed this. I think everyone in the galaxy missed it. You know where Tiberzon seized his credits?
It was a
On the
Imperial
Eclipse.
Dreadnought, I believe. Shit. Yeah, that makes sense. When we looked at it, we initially assumed it was just some executor named the Eclipse, but it was right in front of us this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make sense. We compared documents. Technical readout of the ship was doctored, so no one in the galaxy, if they ever found data on it, would ever worry. It was just an Eclipse and readout. I mean, an executor.
Not to mention it was so incomplete that even the pictures of it couldn't really give us a solid read of what it was.
So we're still worried that this eclipse is the of something, not the end. The ship did take a long time to build, considering the readout we said. It, surprisingly, and this is what alarms us, axial super laser was operational back then. So this thing was functional for a long time. However, it shows that it was never fired.
Huh.
At least to our records, but no doubt Tiberzon killed crews that were logs if anything used. Anyways, this ship was built over Fondor.
Yep. Now, the Empire has Fondor. If you ask me, my stance that I've pretty much learned from the hard way after seeing both Death Stars get destroyed is that it ain't over until it's over. We thought the Death Star would be invincible. That's what scared us into rejoining the Empire, and, well, we ended up eating our words after that.
Correction, this thing was made of a Kuat.
What's your status?
Yeah, that's when the log said it was discovered, but figured it would have been
somewhere.
Yeah.
This still raises the fact that there is no shipyard in the galaxy capable of creating this thing. That's still that was under Imperial hands when this was done. So that means there's a secret shipyard out there making dreadnoughts.
Oh boy. Now see, why did they get a secret shipyard too? I thought that was only our thing.
The Kaminoan shipyard is small and can barely make capital grade at times. We had to use the entire shipyard to make the Bellator, and now Command is too terrified to unveil such a ship. Because the second we do, it's just prey.
Yeah, something that could break through a ship and our planetary shield in a single shot. Yeah, that probably wouldn't bode well against
Energy
Virgil's
scans of the
Razor.
Eclipse, but that indicates that that was a full power shot, from what we believe. And for that, we have calculated how many shots would be needed to destroy a planet. We believe 4.
Shot. Destroy a planet.
The cooldown period between shots is rather high, though. Unless you fired at reduced power. Which is what we're worried about, is the fact that they could fire it at reduced power. Just wipe out fleets by picking off their ships. Because they did not need a full power shot to pierce a planetary shield or the Harrower. They did it to assert their power.
Battle for Endor all over again. Except this time in a much more mobile package.
The New Republic has no way of defeating this thing. Our contacts there and our spies indicate that they're scrambling. Wherever this fleet shows up, they retreat. The only system that they're unwilling to lose at is their Mon Cala and Celestian shipyards. They're willing to throw away any other planet if it means getting away from the thing.
Well, yeah, Mon Cala and Solist are pretty much their main military construction. If they lose that, they don't have a fleet anymore.
So I'd love if any of you who has 1,000-year experience or anything experience have any ways of defeating a Star Dreadnought.
Saber and Sparrow.
You need a bigger gun.
You guys have fought Sith and their super weapons before?
Great.
Let's hear it.
Nothing this big.
Need a bigger gun. Dreadnoughts back then were usually the
Yeah,
Harrower.
the Harrower.
In that thing was one of the largest
Think
ships
of the
of its
Harrower.
era.
I mean,
That's the biggest
our
thing.
Harrower, I mean, the only real big ship super weapon that I remember is the one we had.
Yeah, the Silencer.
There were other
Silencer
ones,
was
but they weren't on
Republic fought
ships.
against the Silencer.
I
The New
mean,
Republic has noted permanent scarring to the ship attack.
the only thing, the silencers were deployed and just destroyed by fleet battles.
What's your status?
No one can contest this thing, considering the weapon estimate of that thing is astronomical. They believe there's around 800 battery packs alongside gravity wells and a super laser.
Oh my god.
Alongside a colossally gigantic hangar that pours endless ships alongside its escort, which is usually smartly designed to be working around the weaknesses of the Eclipse. Because of that, there seems to be no weakness.
Yeah.
Great.
Obviously, there's still one idea. 2, we have to build a second silencer. But
Yeah.
the Kyber crystal's capable of doing that.
Status?
So the idea is revert back to an older design.
Design?
Vanguard Command is just debating on making a subjugator. At least a subjugator-esque vessel. Something concentrated forward-facing ion cannon supported by massive amounts of batteries.
So an ion cannon to disable the Eclipse.
Yes. However, a single shot from the Eclipse could still destroy any ship in existence. So, been put on the drawing board and cancelled. Because there's nothing that can stop it. We think that the Eclipse gets its super laser from its own independent power source. So, able the main reactor, it still could shoot. Nor do we think our ion cannon could disable the reactor to begin with. It's that powerful.
We're definitely on track here, at least. Figuring out ways to subvert the Eclipse without going through its main strengths.
We debated on striking their bridge. We could do what they did in Battle of Endor. The issue is, it's an interior bridge, no doubt. That thing is an observation deck. Just so you
About
all
to
look at
say.
the battlefield.
If this is Palpatine's flagship, he's probably got a whole damn throne room in the middle of his ship.
About to say it probably
Probably.
won't be as easy as Endor.
Our
I'm
concern
sure they've
also
accounted
is
for
that
that.
Palpatine is always on the ship, as the other. No matter what we do, if Palpatine is on the ship, we lose. There's no way of defeating him. And he's immortal. He can just revive himself, apparently. It could take another 10 years, or he could have perfected it in 10 years. We don't know.
Not to mention the fact that he can directly empower his troops using the dark side of the Force.
And battle meditation for what we've been told. Influencing and weakening his enemies using the dark side of the Force, and also battle meditation means direct combat with him would be insanity. This is why, if the Eclipse shows back up, we will launch every single weapon, every single battery, and fight to the death. Because there's no other way to win. No super weapon we could design could destroy that thing.
Palpatine being on board means boarding is going to be a hell of an issue.
He probably won't show up, but we know what's on that ship is no doubt probably a dozen or so Royal Guards that will not care about honor and just team up on you.
What's your status?
So we've got the Sword of Damocles hanging over us now, but that doesn't mean we don't stop trying. Saber, you talked with A1 about, about the state between Palpatine and the Vanguard and everything. Did A1 have any kind of outlook or way out for us at all?
Surrender. Join him.
Surrender, death of our Force user, or revert it. The surrender of all relics in total subjugation.
And now that we've seen the Revenants and Victor, we know exactly what that subjugation would look like.
They can't do it on a grand scale. Revenants are deployed against us because we're too strong. Normal troops. Usually. The normal galaxy has not met Revenants. I want you to let you know.
Huh.
Not on large scales as like us. They're specifically being dispatched to fight us.
Using technology we helped fund and research. Palpatine always did have a wicked sense of humor.
The Vanguard sees one out, because he will not tech us like he did. We'd have to surrender everything to him. Which would also mean everyone here would have to work for Palpatine. If you killed yourself or refused, he'd kill everyone. Just because you didn't listen to him.
Yeah, that's not on the table.
Or better yet, if we kill ourselves, he could just bring us back. You saw what he did with Ajax.
We fight to the death. We win or we die. That's all there is to it.
That's all there is for anyone at this point.
There's still
Except
the fact
Saber,
that
he could
Walker
probably
is
go
under
higher.
his command.
Status?
Luke Skywalker is still being controlled by Palpatine. Keep that in mind.
But he seems
We're
like he wants
unsure
to
of his
kill him.
loyalty. Yes, but you never know.
Check in.
History books that we've read in the Holocron says that the dark side corrupts all.
Even if he's
True
corrupted,
enough.
he could
He'll
still
be
want to kill him.
misconstrued.
Check in.
Yes, I mean, he will probably in the end seize the throne. That is what Sith want, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Continue the lineage. The apprentice becomes the master.
Skywalker will be the strongest Darksider to ever exist. I just want to let you know that there is no way of stopping him. If you thought
Unless we
Palpatine was
prevent
strong,
his ascension by dealing with Palpatine
There's-
first, right?
he could still seize the throne by us just killing Palpatine. That's the issue. If he's far enough into this.
Well, we have to stop the Dark Empire as a whole. But how?
We have to figure out where they're striking from, is the first thing. Where is their capital? Because it's not Coruscant. Everything we've seen indicates that they have a new capital. And the only thing we know is that they struck from the inner, reportedly, from the deep core, where there's nothing charted. That there are warships coming out of there at some point. The issue with exploring the deep core is unbelievably dangerous. Every single parsec jump is almost guaranteed death.
I may have an idea,
Yep,
but it could
a
be
whole cluster of
suicidally
black
dumb.
holes.
What?
Bait a Dark Empire warship into an engagement and board it to try and jack their star charts.
I doubt it. If I'm being honest, a secret capital would not be stored. It'd be stored in the memories of its captains, and their captains would be ordered to die if they were ever to be captured.
Do you think they tech their captains? Because if they do, we might be able to sift through the data.
No.
Now that we have the entechment ourselves.
Isn't Typhon in
Techman
the
is
deep
used
core?
as a punishment by them. Typhon? I don't know that.
Because I could go look at old caches I have to see if I have its location. It's a Jedi planet.
Look, old caches are not going to help, Saber. There is still the issue that this is critical. In most parts of the galaxy, a few thousand years does not change the position. In the inner core, especially the deep core, a few hundred years is enough to invalidate stars. Maybe a few dozen is enough to invalidate them. There's no way you're going to be able to.
Fresh map to get through there.
The core is so volatile and it has so much in it that you would need a fresh map. I tell you to try, but I find it highly likely. We don't have the resources to start probing the deep core, is the issue. And the other issue is, to get a Dark Empire vessel versus a normal Imperial vessel, there's no distinction. Still Imperial Star Destroyers, so unless you suggest boarding every single Star Destroyer we ever fight in combat, there's a very low chance it will be a Dark Empire one. The only idea we have is wait.
Yep. Just wait. Have all of our intel communities across our alliances keep working at it. If we don't find something, hopefully someone else will.
We have a small victory won today, at least. We were able to defeat one of the home bases for a very important person to the Empire. Alongside that, Alpha Squad was very successful in its destruction of its processing center, its shipyard, not shipyard, whatever you call a place to export materials from, a depot, and their mining facility itself. All three were destroyed.
So Zelos 2 is off the map effectively.
Few months. Unfortunately, the data inside Zelos 2 is still being combed through. We don't know what we'll find there. But speaking as we were talking, we cleared of the virus that was inside the data. We have some good news.
Yeah?
The entechment data is here. It's fragmented, and some of it, a few small parts, is not here. Appears you might have missed a few pieces of data, or it's all there.
Oh yes.
However, it's not enough that
It
it was
rushed.
completed. We understand the data centers were shot at while you were trying to siphon data.
Yes.
Well, still, if we've got enough to work with, that's good enough news for me. Just be able to save Waylon after all.
Sure. And this raises the question is if we want to endanger Waylon by offering him to be the first subject, or we attempt to get prisoners, or someone else. The ethics board needs to go through that.
Check in.
Because
Well,
prisoners
Waylon
would be
already
a crime
gave
against
us
the
his
galaxy.
consent to use him as the guinea pig, so to speak, but if the ethics board doesn't agree with that, that's their decision.
We have an ethics board?
Report in.
How do you not know that?
We have an ethics board for interior Vanguard issues. We are a no limits for warfare, but we have ethics so we can't test on our soldiers without permission.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The enemy will use no limits, so we don't use any limits. For a long time, we agreed to the no disruptor rule that most people used. Then Dark Empire super lasered our harrower. I think that counts a bit more than a disruptor.
Not to mention the fact that most of the stuff the Empire's sending after us is barely even human. It's either Sith spawn monsters or cybernetic and dark side augmented superhumans.
What's up, everyone?
Where was I? So the data will have to be combed through. We're hoping that there was export data to somewhere secret. If Zelos' 2's mind was being as long as... Oh, question we have for you, by the way. There was a Victor inside that pod. According to this data. Who was he?
Victor?
It
The
seems
actual
so.
Victor or a copy?
The actual one?
He was trying to trick us at first, but eventually he dropped the Victor we're dealing with.
So he was just stalling for time.
Indeed.
That snake.
When we get our hands on him, if we do, okay, so we should bring up this now, because this is an important subject. If we get our hands on Victor, say like him, or his Techmid technology where he's stored, what do we do?
I feel like he's made his own choice. We
Yeah.
destroy him.
True.
There's...
At
Boss
this
has brought
point,
up a theory to us.
yeah.
It is possible that he was mind manipulated into agreeing with us, or he willingly did it. Do you care either?
No, because even let's assume that that's true and he was manipulated. We don't have the means to undo that. And as harsh as it may sound, when it comes to a war this dangerous for the fate of the galaxy, you're either with us or against us.
The rest of you?
I
I
mean,
agree.
Well, there is one idea I could potentially have for the mind manipulation, but other than that, it's just kind of hard to give the timeline because, as Saber and Sparrow have just put it to me, this guy could have potentially had prototypes for the Revenant soldiers, which could mean he was potentially working to build them this whole time. That would explain those weird cybernetic droid-looking soldiers that were wearing Valen's armor when we went to go meet him last
yeah,
time.
but wasn't he, like, manipulated by then? Or we thought he was?
Well, we don't know when he was manipulated or for how long. That's the thing.
Notably, we never actually returned to the state after Victor went rogue. We left it completely to its own to rot. So we have
Yeah, we
no
left
data
it to
monitoring
Valen.
it.
We expected him to be able to keep things in line there.
Nick, how long was Palpatine in Valen, from your knowledge?
It was revealed to me the day I fled. He didn't exactly say how long, but I assume he had known for at least a while because he said it was the right time to reveal it to me.
Judging by the fact you fled the day that you were introduced to Palpatine and then Palpatine revealed himself, there's one of two outcomes. One, you were a loose end and dangerous, so Palpatine revealed himself before you could warn anyone in the galaxy. Or two, Valen being ready with you was the last piece of the puzzle. We suspect
Well,
you
let's-
first.
Palpatine would want all of his soldiers to be ready. But it could have been the first. Well, could have been.
No correction, the latter, sorry.
Oh, the latter, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was just going to say that it did seem like Valen had something of a plan already worked out with Palpatine because it seemed like, well, it seemed like he wanted to bring me into the loop, like he and Palpatine had already been conversing for some time at least beforehand.
Valen did call you a prodigy, from what we know. You are the descendant of rather strong Jedi. Boss has actually mentioned this, and this has slipped our mind because he put this to us. And it never really mattered. We need to do a midichlorian test on you.
Oh.
We never did a midichlorian test on him?
We never do midichlorian tests. We stopped very early into the Vanguard because it was unbelievably tedious.
You just take a blood sample and put it through a scanner, don't you? You can do it with a handheld device. Coda
We
showed
didn't
me
have enough
that.
testers.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We only have there's only like 14 we have in our possession. Since our outlawed tech.
When would you like to do that?
We could do it in a few minutes. We could do it like right now, actually.
Yeah, all they need is a blood sample. That's literally all they need.
I'll call a medical person up. They'll send us it, and the tester will get the data in mere seconds.
Alright, I have no objections to that.
You know what? I am also quite curious to see what your results will be.
You know, despite training with Valen for so long, I still have no idea what a midichlorian actually is, but...
It's complicated, and there's a lot of, there were a lot of myths and misinformation about it at the time during the Clone Wars, and, I can imagine it's only gotten even more, obscure since then.
Isn't it effectively the thing that communicates with the Force? The more you have, the stronger you are.
Well, it'll be quite enlightening, at least. Maybe Valen knew something I didn't. It wouldn't surprise me to see it's kind of in the nature of Sith. And keeping secrets goes hand in hand with that.
Alright, Nick. Hold out your hand.
Alright.
Report in.
A minute.
There we go.
Give it a minute. Process. Alright, scan complete. Midichlorian count is 16,682.
Decent
I do not
number.
normally measure that against other things, but
Is that a lot?
That's very high.
Quite high.
Nice.
This equipment might be
Got
damaged,
quite
so
the
let me do a
potential,
second.
Nick.
What was that, Dex?
So, well, you've got quite the potential, Nick.
It would explain why Valen was so eager to take me under his wing.
Nope, this confirms it. 16,682. We'll have to go check out Nora, I guess.
What's your status?
Oh, right. A1 said Valen wants to, capture her. So,
Saying.
Oh?
What you said, Saber?
that Valen wants to capture Nora?
Yeah, is that what you said?
Yep.
Alright.
He apparently wants to break
He's
her.
gonna go do a test. She is the one who got away.
Yes.
Right. They ended up having a falling out after she refused to embrace the dark side during her teens.
And this is also another reason why A1 wants to kill her quick. Doesn't want Valen to get her.
Why? We're gonna kill Valen before he has the chance to do that.
Hopefully.
That brings up the
But of
next
course.
question. If Valen surrenders to us or is defeated, do we kill him straight out?
Yes.
Nick, you
He
are
can't
biased.
be trusted. He can't be trusted.
Even if he
He's a
can
Sith
be
through and
trusted,
through.
isn't
I
he
mean,
too
keep
powerful?
in mind, Nick, he was already spared once, and look at how that turned out.
Indeed.
That was a
I
sparing
feel he's
by
too dangerous
someone he
to be left
despised
alive.
when he was. Keep in mind, Valen's previous attempt at being spared, he got defeated in a dirty method, and then was immediately going to be turned over to his worst enemies to be executed or interrogated and then executed.
I will kill Valen no matter what it takes.
Oh, and
not
Laszlo
really
also
up
wants
for
to kill
debate.
Valen.
Well, then I have to
That guy's
beat
not
him
even
to
force
it.
sensitive. How will Laszlo, that old guy, even defeat?
He says he wants to.
Does he have any accolades in killing Jedi?
Yes.
Even? He's better than you?
I'd say, as of recently, he's killed more.
So consider you have a multi-thousand-year lead on him.
Yeah, I mean, in
Though
the
I
time
suppose
we've known
most of
each
your
other, he
targets
killed
weren't
more.
Jedi.
So to current standards.
So if we capture Valen, he's going to get killed by Nick no matter what he says or does.
Correct.
It all comes down to boss, if he does that or not.
Yeah.
There is
I know
also,
Valen
we have-
intimately now. He's too dangerous to be left alive, no matter what he says.
I doubt Valen will really try to wheedle his way out of it. And you know how proud he is.
You don't know. I don't want to psychoanalyze a man I don't know. But if he surrenders peacefully, do not kill him. That likely won't happen, but if he surrenders willingly, not even, say like you don't even have to fight him and he just surrenders once you get to his door, you are not to kill him.
I
Yeah.
think that's a fair trade.
I'll at least wait out for what boss has to say.
If he
That
does
is if-
fight you, it is your decision because it's combat.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that is if Valen even lets us take him alive.
So yeah, you know what to to do if, by some miracle, he does.
This something else I wanted to bring up. We could,
Yeah?
if we capture Victor, we are to kill him, you said? We have just decided a greater idea. We wanted your opinion.
Yeah?
Alright.
He's intact, meaning eternal prison is capable of being done to him.
That seems needlessly cruel.
Disney did cruel things. Many people in the galaxy. Perhaps a sensible measure is required.
Well, yeah.
You
people
raise
are
a fair
eternally
point.
imprisoned now because of. Though having
You
him
raise.
if
We
he
could use
is
him as an
in any way.
ongoing scientist.
Another thing too is, we do, you say, we could figure out once and for all how deep his force manipulation goes. We do have people on our side that also know. Be an enlightening, it can be really enlightening study.
We are unsure if you can probe the mind of someone intact.
Yeah, true.
Well, if we capture him, you can test that.
Moving on to other subjects. We should just get this all out of the way. If we were to run into Mart, are you going to kill or destroy or capture?
I mean, we'd want his body at least. It's valuable as a resource. And he's a droid, so we can't really kill him in a way that matters. Unless we destroy
Mart
all
is not
backups of
intact.
his data. Well, Mart's a droid.
Mart,
So he doesn't have
back
surrogation.
himself up.
Oh, okay.
Nor does he back himself up. Mart's backups are stored inside him. At least that's what last he was done.
I'd prefer not to kill him, but we might be forced to.
I'd say incapacitation is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get a big enough ion cannon to take him out, then be my guest. Otherwise, we're gonna have to deal with him the old-fashioned way.
You have not spoken. What do you think?
Well, if he's willing to surrender, I say we can take him alive, but if not, then he should be destroyed.
I don't think he's going to surrender.
Not unless we get to A1 first.
Yeah.
A1 getting defeated in a permanent or captured would force him to surrender. That's just
Yes.
how he is.
Yep, he goes wherever
Gregory.
A1 goes. Without A1, he'd probably go back to us.
Gregory.
That one is dangerous.
He's also
I
our
forget.
design.
I was about to say, if we destroy Gregory, I mean, he is our design. We could just build another.
No.
Why not?
The tech who designed him passed away a few years ago. He wasn't
Yeah,
built
and-
from schematics. He was hand-built.
Yeah, and Blade Gregory is also advanced and expensive designs we've made for him. It'd be hell of a hard time replicating that, even if we did have schematics.
We believe A1's the only one who has schematics of him. So do we capture or destroy?
Capture, I'd say. I mean, that is if capture is even possible with Gregory.
Yeah, it's the same thing for Mart,
Seems like pretty
if
much
possible.
every capture option has an if attached to it.
The notable feature about Gregory's armor, and that you're probably very familiar with, is it's meant to be ultra-reflective. Almost all blaster bolts off it. The only thing that can damage it is mass drivers, unfortunately. Its thick armor underneath there, and its shielding prevent against that.
What's up, everyone?
We need a really big gun to take it out.
Clark fired its railgun shot point pierced right into its droid brain. Surprisingly, you did not kill it, but it ran away and it badly damaged.
Is it damage that was able to be repaired, or is Gregory still damaged?
We have no clue.
Yeah, we haven't seen Gregory at all since that incident.
So if we encounter him again, our strategy has to be to take him on as if he's at full strength.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We assume he's likely fixed up to full. There would be no reason not to.
Well, I mean, yes, but I was about to say because he's handmade, it's possible that they simply didn't have the materials to replace the parts that were lost.
They can
Who
replace
knows?
materials, just his design itself is unique. Gregory was built with replacement parts in mind, no doubt. Or if not, A1 definitely had.
Status?
So, Gregory's destroyed. It wouldn't technically be possible to build him. It would just be extremely difficult.
Didn't A1
We
have the
suspect the
ability
replacement
to
parts are
possess
usually-
A1 as well? I mean, Gregory.
A1 has the ability to possess Gregory?
Didn't he use his body once? I think he did.
I think so, yeah. Going to the assumption that yes.
Yeah, because you already saw him do that with Martz.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to do that with Gregory too.
Yeah, I think he took that body for a spin when we first got it.
Could have surrogated
yeah, I
directly
remember
into
that.
it or transferred it. We don't know. It could be a remote takeover feature, so let's assume it is a remote takeover. Moving on. Other important individuals. Richter, A1 security chief.
Unimportant, right?
He's important enough to have a high-ranking position and oversee its areas of full right now.
No, I mean that his fate's unimportant to us. As long as we get him out of the picture, I don't care what we do with him.
There's attachments here in him.
What do you think?
Yeah. Of us knew him. Many though. But at the end of the day, Richter's a soldier. Should understand either way that if he fights us, there's a chance he won't make it. But he is a regular human soldier, so and he is, like I said, just a regular soldier, so if he surrenders,
Yeah.
we take him alive.
I don't think he's as evil
Richter.
as the Empire, so...
No, he is not evil at all. He works.
He
That's
just
all
does
he
his
does.
job.
However, he is prolific enough to be noted on the list.
Well, yeah, my point still stands. If he surrenders, we capture him. Not, then if he dies, he dies.
Let's go over another subdivision. Valen's Inquisitors, the notable named ones, not the guys in the worthless hoods are sent to fight us to the death. I'm talking about the skilled, trained by him individuals. What is the stance on them?
I find it unlikely that we will be able to get them to stand down. It's likely they will fight to the death.
The only one possible that I can think of is Embo, but I don't really know enough about him.
Is Embo even alive?
No clue.
A long time since I've talked to him.
It's been a few years.
Let's assume he's alive. We should, for the context of this, assume every single target we speak alive. Until proven not.
Yeah.
So, kill all Inquisitors. If they surrender, we let them. If they don't, just kill them. Don't even ask them to.
Yep.
Yep, and I'm sure they won't offer it anyway.
And at least Havy's dead.
That is true. Havy is indeed dead.
Might have
Oh, that
saved us a
reminds
bit,
me, I
Nick.
do have a lightsaber around somewhere.
Do you?
Yeah, I took it as a trophy when I killed her.
We looked at that recording and it looks like you did it there and then you immediately had to run away. So I don't think you got it. I think you are mistaken.
Oh, I saw that recording too. He didn't have to immediately run away after killing her. He had like a whole thing where, you know, after the battle, he
Yeah.
went to Valen's office, talked to him and Palpatine, and then he had to run away. So I think he could
Yeah,
have
I
picked it
just-
up then.
Yeah, I just grabbed
possible.
it and then I followed Vale into his office.
Alright. I am mistaken. I was under the assumption that all the recordings took place within the day. So, this actually raises another question I didn't think of. Valen possesses Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Okay.
So what is the
Other-
question? Do we kill Darth Maul's lightsaber?
No.
Do we
gets it
capture
if we
Darth
get
Maul's
it?
lightsaber? Who cares?
Saber does.
Yeah, Saber
honestly,
likes
since you
collecting
took
the
your
stuff.
arm, you want it, Nick?
I'll probably take it.
That true?
I'll probably
is
take it
true,
for
I
now
can
at
Saber that
least.
took your arm off.
I'll
Oh,
fight
yeah.
you for it, Saber.
That is
Well, I
kind
wanna-
of when you found out you were force
Look, I want to
sensitive,
make
so
sure
got
it's
the
in
most
tip-top shape,
compatible
and
to
then
you.
maybe I'll give it to you, okay? Because it's historical.
I'd like to put it on display as a reminder of how far
yeah,
I've
that's
come
fine.
since my arm was taken.
And
We are
I
still
already know
impressed
who's
that you were
getting
able to defeat
Dooku's
Darth Maul.
lightsaber.
Who's that?
Probably Laszlo.
Not happening. Relics like that are not to leave the Vanguard once they are ours to claim. Either he works with us, or he doesn't get it.
Yep, if Laszlo wants Sith artifacts, he's gonna have to kill his own Sith.
And you just take out the crystal.
We've already learned the hard way what happens when we give artifacts to
Or we
outfits
just
outside
remove
of
the crystal
Vanguard.
from it.
He can just get another. We don't risk
Either
it.
way, he doesn't get it.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, actually, I have an idea. If he wants a Sith relic so badly, how
Well, no, he
about
wants
he helps
to-
us kill Valen?
He wants
if he
the
kills Valen,
separatist
then he
one.
can take Dooku's lightsaber. Then he can be happy.
Well, yeah, he wants to kill Valen.
Well, then, good luck to him on that regard, because if we get the
Do you
kill,
think
he
he has
ain't
a
getting
chance?
it.
Status?
Maybe.
Do you think this Laszlo has a chance?
If Valen doesn't know he's coming, yes. But he might. Because I believe A1 knows. He told A1 that he wants to kill Valen, so...
I feel like A1 probably not meant.
Yeah. It all depends on
if
if A1
so-
says or not.
I don't think. Does anyone know much about Laszlo? If he
Neither
just
of
says
them
a
know.
random guy is gonna come kill you, he won't.
Yeah.
None of us would take it.
I mean, wasn't the time he was beaten by Nora because of some random guy coming at him?
But that was
What's up, everyone?
we never know. Could prepare.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever we seize from Dark Empire, anything at all, is being stored, not to be accessed.
Status?
I don't give a shit if Luke Skywalker himself shows up. That is boss's rule.
Well, yeah, Skywalker
many-
did show up, and we still didn't give anything to him.
Jedi artifacts are Jedi. Things similar, but Sith artifacts are held forever. Does that sound reasonable with you all?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
reasonable.
sounds reasonable.
Honestly, it's a shame that things have gone the way they have for Luke. If he ended up, bringing the Jedi back, I would have been totally open to letting him see our artifacts, or Jedi artifacts anyway, help him along.
Outside of Saber, does anyone know about this vault? Or the vaults?
Oh, I do.
Nick, do you know anything about the location of any of these vaults?
Only the ones that we went to.
Good. I'm keeping it that way. None of you are supposed to be in the loop unless boss told you directly. And I'm aware that Saber and Dax were informed directly.
Status?
Yeah, it really is for the best. We absolutely cannot have Palpatine finding his way to those vaults.
Dax doesn't even know much. The only one who knows anything is Saber. And he'd rather explode into a million nukes than fucking reveal that location.
I don't even have the
Preferably in
location
Palpatine's
saved right
face,
now.
like A1 did with Vader, if you can.
I keep that
Someday,
memory
maybe after
stored
the
away.
war's over, we'll show you the vault. Once this war's over and Palpatine is dead, if he dies and if we survive, we can show you the vault.
Well, there we go. Now you got something to look forward to. So, make sure you don't die on us, okay?
Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, things might be looking grim, but, well, things were looking grim during Yavin and Endor. I think, as astronomical as it might seem, I think there still might be a chance that we get out of this alive.
Take pride in the small victories that we have.
Yeah.
They will snowball
Yep.
into greater.
Besides, I haven't even gotten to fully enjoy my retirement yet. And I definitely don't want to enjoy my retirement stuck in some droid body for Palpatine to torment for an eternity.
Hey, Dax, I don't want to be that guy, but if this was like a story, you saying I'm close to retirement and I got to lose out my retirement on this, you were going to die 2 weeks from retirement now. Just because you said that.
Yep.
That's true.
I mean, hey, at least I get to
Don't
survive
jinx
to
it.
the last 2 weeks of the war. That's good enough for me.
So
mean,
if Dax dies, assume the war is 2 weeks away for victory.
Alright.
Understood.
Yeah,
I'll
there
take
you go.
Dax's death as a
Something
sign we're about to
even
win.
better to motivate you with.
So what you're saying exactly is, if we kill you right now, the
Yeah,
war will end in 2
exactly.
weeks.
No,
Very true.
it has to be the enemy that kills me. Otherwise,
Get the-
it doesn't
Well,
work.
Alright, I'll call A1.
Okay,
Get the
we'll Ajax to kill
sacrificial
you.
volcano ready.
We'll get Ajax to kill you.
Ajax possessing Quinn to kill you.
Report in.
Yeah, having possessed Quinn, that'd be a funny fight. Or, I don't
Good
know.
news,
You guys
Nick.
mentioned a mannequin or something? Have him fight me in that.
You don't want to know.
Nick. Nick.
Yes.
Look at your million count, and it is really high.
Yeah, as I was told.
Higher than quite a few notable Jedi fighters.
What's your status?
Such as...
Jedi Masters.
You don't think we got another chosen one on our side, do you?
No. No.
Unlikely.
No way. We have the midichlorian count from Anakin. It archived like 1,000,000 friggin' times because they couldn't believe.
But I guess that means that I could be the next Yoda.
Maybe not the next Yoda, but...
Yeah, if you
I
can
just
live
have to
for
get
it.
a little shorter.
List off some famous Jedi Council members from the old Republic days.
Oh
Like
god.
the previous Republic, not
Like-
the old Republic.
Yeah, okay.
The
Yeah,
Galactic
like Eth
Republic.
Koth, Kit Fisto, fucking Plo Koon,
His name
Bencesis,
is Fisto.
obviously Yoda, Yaddle.
Mace Windu.
Oh, obviously, yes. Was it Coleman Tribble or something?
You're stronger than almost any that they listed. Maybe not Mace Windu. Not sure about that one.
Yeah.
He
Or
was the
Yoda.
Master of the Order, so it's unsure.
No, no way Yoda. Yoda, I think, is still probably the strongest.
Wow, I can't believe I'm stronger than Kit Fisto.
Well, I mean, maybe not now, but you have the potential to be stronger.
Yeah, that's the
Then
main
Kit
thing about
Fisto.
midichlorian count.
What's the
It
number
doesn't
that you said
speak
again?
to your... What?
16,000?
For me?
Like
16.6 thousand.
something.
It was 16,682, I believe.
Alright. Because I have a readout here that says not that.
Why, what's it say?
I think our... This can't be right. It says 29,884.
Huh?
No, that's
I
wrong.
think our...
Shit.
I think our equipment is malfunctioning.
Okay, a retest
Yeah,
is in order then.
definitely is.
Well, we have enough blood to do a retest, but our first two tests were accurate, and our third one just skyrocketed to 29,000, which no way is accurate.
29,000. That would actually
what?
put him on par with the chosen one, I think. We're getting close
What's
to
the
it.
light?
Nick,
The
did you
midichlorians are reproducing.
did you
in the
eat a
same-
Jedi?
Yeah, you didn't
Not
eat
recently.
Maul after you guys killed him, did you?
No, I ate Havy.
Oh.
Oh, understandable.
Well, we'll try to see if we can get some equipment later to test this, because it seems our equipment is faulty, as we're still getting inaccurate readings. For right now, let's give you a generous roundup estimate of 17,000.
Well, let's assume the first result is correct to the 16,000, because that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yeah, around 16,600 sounds about correct right now. We'll get a more detailed reading. Still, that means you got a lot of potential. Who knows? Maybe if things don't work out with Skywalker or Palpatine, you could be the one to take their place.
Okay, we're
I'll
getting a new
lead
rating.
the Dark Empire.
16,901 is our reading.
Okay,
Okay,
that
so it's
might
about
be more.
that time. About around 16,
So what we're
17,000.
just going to say is we're not going to keep guessing this because our equipment's not working. Is we're just going to ballpark you at 17,000, and we're not going to test you any further, okay?
Alright,
Yeah, that
sounds
about
fair.
right.
Alright, Dex, here's the new plan. We kill Luke Skywalker and Palpatine, and I ascend the throne of the Empire. Then I declare the Vanguard
no,
the
no.
official
You have
ruling
to-
government of the galaxy.
You have to consume them to gain their power.
In
Indeed.
a ritualistic sacrifice. Speaking of Jedi, Nora's rating has just come in. It's around 16,000. The
Oh.
exact reading, we're once again not going to ballpark. We're just going to park it. Not up to
A
par.
bit less than you.
That 1,000 is a massive difference to what boss says.
Oh.
We're not sure how massive. He didn't do this, so he can't really state it. Midichlorian testing may also be a lost art because he doesn't know how to do this, nor does anyone know how to operate one of these properly. Because every single time we've done a reading, they've been... Perhaps it's just aging equipment.
Yeah. You know what the saddest thing is? Probably the one person, the two people who have had the best expertise on this would have been Havy and Valen. And I don't think we're going to be able to get any info out of them anytime.
Havy was a, knight, so there would be no way of knowing from that. Valen would be the only source. Enough of this midichlorian stuff. It's dumb. But it is cool to experiment.
Yeah, it's nice to know these things.
Anyways, closing thoughts, Sparrow.
I do not think I have any. I am fine.
Laszlo will be the new emperor of the galaxy. Those are my closing thoughts. Thank you for attending.
Actual closing thoughts, please.
Actual closing thoughts. We need to come up with an actual effective plan to deal with the rest of A1's toys before we can tackle him directly.
Plan right now is to jump planets. He doesn't have that many planets under his governance that are important. Obviously, we take out Azeri, that will anger him to no end, and also force him to divert forces to target us. And through that gap, we theorize that there will be gaps in the Imperial rankings and the navies as they have to make up for what A1's doing. Because A1 does suffer from tunnel vision.
In other words, be a shakeup that could give the New Republic a opening too.
We theorize, though, that this shakeup will be prevented by Valen.
Once we manage to take out Valen as well, that could destabilize the whole region.
The entire
Both him
sector
and
will
A1
fall.
gone.
With both of them
And we
dead,
can
the
swoop
entire
in and
sector
take
will
over.
fall. No, that would be very unwise. If we are deciding to take over a sector, we need to give them the choice. Swooping in and taking New Leaf is a way to be villainized by the New Republic, and if this war does turn in their favor, we could just be their next target.
Yeah, it's a miracle that our relationship with Rhineria didn't go more sour than it already did.
Saber, closing thoughts.
I don't have any.
Okay. Dex, closing thoughts. You're the final speaker other than me.
Oh, I already spoke.
Well, rehash. A while ago, so
Well,
keep it so it's in their mind.
Well, it's like you and I both said. Things might seem hopeless now, but I think there's still a chance. We just gotta take what we can with small victories, see if they can snowball into big victories, and I think A1 and Valen's sector is gonna be the perfect opportunity for that.
I have closing thoughts now.
Okay.
Just, this whole situation with, like, the underdogs going against a big empire that fucked up the galaxy really reminds me of the Eternal Empire. Look how that turned out. The underdogs won. So yeah, hell yeah, we have a chance.
Experience we were hoping you'd bring to the table.
Yeah. So hell yeah, we have a chance.
speaking of the Eternal Empire, that has reminded us. For years now, we have been excavating one of those planets that had Eternal Empire tech.
Oh?
We have found nothing. Other than trinkets and some of the armor sets and some
What
weaponry.
about Zakul itself?
Eternal Empire tech. Were we at Zakul itself?
Yeah.
It's ruined.
Yeah, but might be stuff.
We don't know where to look. We're looking through thousands of years of rust and rubble.
Right.
A planet that was abandoned by literally everyone. Unusually, there's little to no life signs of the planet at all. How bad was it cool when it was taken by the whatever who did it?
When it was destroyed? I don't know. I have no records of that. It was the birthplace of the Eternal Empire. I know that. And then when that collapsed, you know, their infrastructure got fucked up for a bit. But people were helping them. After that, I have no memory.
So we don't know. Great. So we have nowhere to look, because you never visited Sakul, did you?
I was outside the city once. For like 30 minutes.
There'd be no way of telling where the city was. If we could find, like, do they have, like, a palace?
Oh yeah, it went all the way out of the atmosphere.
Oh.
Probably collapsed now, but that city was really high up.
Pulsar lifts, or just, like, tall?
It was just very tall.
We gave up on searching Zakul about 4 years ago. If you think there's something to find there, let us know.
What's your status?
Probably. If we can find the city, then that's everything we'd need. Or everything we'd find.
What would be the best thing we could find?
Probably tech. A lot of that tech could still be useful these days. Oh god, if we can even find
look into it
intact Eternal Fleet ships, which I sincerely doubt, that'll help a lot.
How strong were Eternal Fleet ships?
Well, they're mostly strong. They're coordinated together by droids, what I could tell. And they could just, like, form up together and destroy everything in their path.
Fortunately, I'm gonna say that this tech is probably outdated. And
Yeah.
even if their warships aren't outdated, they're probably too small to compete larger vessels.
Those things were huge.
They were, if I'm correct, they were a bit bigger than the biggest Sith Empire ship, so.
The Harrower is only at maximum what we have. Half the size of a Star Destroyer. But we'll talk about this later. I will start saying my closing thoughts. No matter what happens, remember you're fighting for more than just the Vanguard. And even though a lot of the Vanguard is pessimistic about it, High Command has quite a bit of optimism that this will persevere. All we need is some good victory. Something to bring the morale of the troops up. Hell, even just having the Eclipse get destroyed would probably return all morale to the troops. That's all we would ever need. We don't even have to destroy it. As long as that ship exists, though, the troops are scared. So, keep fighting. If we defeat A1 and Valen, we destabilize a major sector, free a giant shipyard, and liberate a large portion of the southern part of the galaxy from the inner rim to the outer rim.
Alright. We have our objectives, people. Let's be ready when they come.
There was something else I was trying to remember. A lot on my mind. Oh, yes. Great news for you specifically. The World Devastator that was seized and using our commands being moved to Boreas as
Nice.
probably not be able to see it, as it will be moved off-planet rapidly afterward. If you want to catch a glimpse at this atrocity, coming days you might be able to.
Well, I'll be damned.
We're unsure what we're doing with it, but the hope is we can make it be programmed to produce Vanguard tech. And if it can, we have theoretically, and this is the high theoretics of theory crafting of technology and technocrat.
What's your status?
Can you repeat that?
So the big-brained technocrats believe that there's a theoretical possibility, and this is in the lees of the high-tier theoretical stuff. How familiar are you with the history of the Starforge? I imagine none at all. Probably a name.
I know of it.
That's it.
And what happened to its
The World
pieces?
Devastator uses the same tech. At a smaller scale and using different types of matter consumption, it consumes matter and produces warships. We think the theoreticals of constructing a basic reanimated Starforge begin with this.
We could have the ultimate factory on our side.
The issue is, there are no recordings of what the Starforge looked like, or what it did, or how to make one. Ours would look vastly different to theirs.
Yeah, but hey, having a World Devastator will already improve our chances by a lot by giving us an edge in manufacturing.
I could possibly dig up data on something similar that might have been made from it,
Right?
called the Foundry.
And one last thing I don't know of any. Boss has only mentioned and written some documentation about the Starforge, since no one's alive from that era to tell about it. Not even you, Saber.
Yes, I know Revan used the Foundry later on.
To be honest, I don't know who our Revan is.
Oh. I think he was associated with the Starforge.
Okay. But let's wrap up and say New Republic delegates will be here to meet us soon.
Good.
Be prepared, because Dax will be speaking on your behalf, and they want anyone who wants a say in what the New Republic does with us to be there as well. So if that involves you, let us know.
Alright then.
Oh, and one last thing. Because it just came in, and I forgot to mention it. Waylon has been approved for the first detectment process.
Interesting.
Alright.
This does endanger him when it's ready, though, but
I assume he volunteered.
we gave that up. He
Yep.
signed papers.
Yep, he said he was willing to accept the risk. He said he had nothing to lose anyway.
Alright, this was a good meeting. I'll relay the transcript of everything said, and High Command and Boss will read this. Tell you what he thinks. Dismissed.
Alright then.
Alright.